Hey guys, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. Thank you so much again for joining me for my video today, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you about how long you should wait before discussing marriage with your significant other, which a lot of people really want to know in their relationship. So before we dive into all that, I want to let you guys know that I created a relationship quiz essentially that's going to be analyzing your relationship and let you know essentially if it's going to be working long term or if you guys are doomed and going to be most likely not lasting the full distance. So I'm going to leave a link in my description, and I want you guys to click it and take the relationship quiz, see how your relationship is holding up, and if you want a personal assessment from me on how you guys did on your quiz, I'll be happy to assess that for you. I'll give you directions in the link, but go ahead, click on it, and take my relationship quiz. I'm really excited about that. But let's dive into today's topic, which again is how long should you wait before discussing marriage? And this can be a lot of high tension and brings up some anxiety for people in a relationship, right? Because a lot of people really do want marriage as the ultimate goal. Not everybody, but people who do, they have a time frame and a time crunch, and it can be really awkward to figure out when it's appropriate to start discussing marriage and when it's not. So I want to let all of you know that obviously every relationship and every couple is different. Some people get married after a month or even less. Some people get married after years and years and years of being together. So I don't think there's really a right way in terms of a time frame of how long you should wait before discussing marriage. But I do think some things need to be in place before you guys bring up this topic. So we're going to talk about the things that should be in place and go from there. So the first thing in order to be ready to discuss marriage is, I think the first thing is you have to trust your instinct. You know when it's right to bring up something. You know if it's important for you and you really want to discuss it. I believe in authenticity and honesty. So if it's something that is really important for you, even if you just kind of want to plant the seed and let your other half know that that's where you want to go in the direction of your relationship, I think that's fine. I think a lot of people are really scared to bring that kind of thing up because they don't want their other half to break up with them, or they don't want their other half to feel smothered. I think in any relationship we need to be ourselves and we need to be honest. I think it's all about the delivery and how you do it. I think it's totally fine to say that you want to get married someday or you want to get married, around this time frame without putting so much pressure and kind of crunch time on your significant other. So it really is about delivery more so than saying it and being honest about it. So I think you need to trust your instincts when it comes to being the right time for you to be discussing marriage. Also, before that, I want you to ask yourself, have you guys been through hardships together? Because obviously if you guys get married and you really are trying to do this relationship for the long haul, you're going to have a lot of trials and tribulations. And so it's really important that your relationship has gone through those hard times and you've come out on the other end successful in order to really indicate of whether or not you guys are ready to tie the knot and really seal the deal in terms of this commitment. So make sure that you've gone through some hardships and some triumphs. Because sometimes when people don't and they finally hit that in the marriage, it really is a wake-up call, and there's a lot of relationships that don't last because they don't know how to go through those hard times together. Another tip that I really suggest is that you need to know all parts of your partner before you get married. So that means the good, the bad, the ugly, the flaws, those things that you know about your significant other that are, that maybe not everybody sees. Because again, when you're married, you're not going to be able to keep those kinds of secrets from each other. You're going to bring your full self into the marriage, and it's going to be a full partnership, right? So it's important that you know all the sides of your significant other, and you're able to work with that and tolerate that and be okay with that, essentially. It's good to not have any of those kinds of surprises when you get married. And then the next thing you need to do in order to figure out if you're ready to talk about marriage is you need to ask yourself if you want to get married in order to save your relationship or in order to make your relationship better? Because if the answer is yes, I'm here to tell you that that's a rude awakening. That's not going to happen. You know, a lot of people think that transitioning to the next step, whether it's marriage or having children, that it's somehow going to make the relationship better and bring you guys more close. But that's not true. So I want you to ask yourself if the reason that you want to get married is for that purpose. And if the answer is yes, then I highly suggest that you do not do that, because that is not a good reason to get married. It's not a healthy reason to get married. You want to get married because you want to, and that you feel that it really is the right step for you guys and you're ready for it. Not out of desperation or to save anything or to think that it's going to bring you guys closer. So that's something that you really do need to ask yourself. And then the last thing, and I think in order to figure out if you're ready to talk about marriage, is, you know, just asking yourself, have you guys lived together? Now, not every couple has lived together before marriage, and I don't think that's necessarily an absolute must. However, I do think the more that you know your partners ins and outs of morning routine, evening routine, just kind of how they are at home is really, really helpful before figuring out if you guys are ready to get married. You know, especially just kind of, you know, knowing those, just how are they in the morning? How's their attitude? How are they after work? Are they tired? Are they grumpy? You know, there's certain things that you learn from your other half when you live together and when you cohabitate. So I do think that if it goes with your beliefs and your morals, I do think that's a great stepping stone from being in a committed relationship to trying to live together and then getting married. So maybe just ask yourself, you know, how well do you know the person's lifestyle that you want to marry, and are you prepared to be okay with that? Do your guys' lifestyles mesh? And cohabitating together is a really good way to do that. So again, you're going to need to figure out whatever is right for you before you decide to get married. But here are some tips that I think you need to ask yourself, and maybe some places in your relationship or things in your relationship that you have had to do in order to get to this place of feeling ready. Again, but everybody is different, but here are just some of my ideas that I think would really be solid for you and give you guys even a good boost and a good start to when you actually do want to tie the knot. And I think it'll make you guys feel more ready and feel more like in a healthy place to do so. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page if you haven't already, and you'll get tips and highlights and pop-ups every time I create a new video for you guys. And ask me any questions or comment below, and you know I'll get back to you as soon as I can on that. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time for my next video. Bye.